Hi there, my name is Chris Marlinga. I'm the chef at the North Division Onion here in Spokane, and today I'm going to be making a gluten-free salmon cake with an Uncle Dan's Dill Aioli sauce to go with it. We're going to start out with a nice big mixing bowl, 8 ounces of cooked salmon, so this could be left over from your dinner last night, it could be something you grilled, something you baked, it really doesn't matter. You can buy a fresh piece and bake it. And the salmon we're going to you want it cooked and cool. And once it's cool, we're just going to kind of flake it into the bowl. You don't want huge chunks, but also you don't want to demolish it into a paste. So we'll flake it into the bowl here. This is also where you can double check for any bones. If there are any, you'll probably find them. Next, we're going to add 8 ounces of mashed potatoes. Again, this could be left over. We're keeping it gluten-free. Normally you'd add a breadcrumb or some kind of bread product. So we're going to kind of hold it together and give it some body with mashed potatoes. Put those right in there. 2 tablespoons of fresh lemon juice, 1 teaspoon of paprika, 1/4 of a teaspoon of cayenne pepper, and that's optional. If you don't like the pepper, that's fine. 2 teaspoons of chopped parsley. I'm gonna chop some right now. I would prefer fresh parsley. Some herbs are fine dried, like dill, but some are better fresh. Parsley, basil. Chop it as fine or as rough as you like. Right into our mix. And next we're going to add 1 teaspoon of Uncle Dan's Country Dill seasoning, which I find to be a wonderful one. It really has a bright flavor with the dill. It has a nice color as well, and just 1 teaspoon. And we're just going to mix it together. Have fun. You can use a spoon if you prefer not to get messy. I recommend gloves too, because then you can just peel them right off. And you just want to mix it till everything's incorporated. And then once you have your mix, the next step is breading. So we have our gluten-free breadcrumbs. What I've done is taken some gluten-free buns. You can leave them out on the counter overnight to dry them out, put them in a food processor, or crumble them up. You could put them in a Ziploc bag and gently smash them up. You can buy gluten-free breadcrumbs, panko, gluten-free panko crumbs, anything is fine. There's no science. We're gonna take a golf ball size, it's roughly 2 ounces, and then just gently flatten. Lay it in your breadcrumbs, sprinkle some on top, and give it a light press so they stick in there. Shake off the excess, and then put them on a sheet pan or a plate. If you have wax paper, that might be good so they don't stick. And now that your patties are all formed, we're going to take them back to the pan and cook them in the pan. We're going to pan fry these today. Okay, so we're going to start with preheating our pan. You want to get your pan maybe on a medium heat for a couple minutes. You want it to be nice and hot. 1/4 cup to 1/3 cup of cooking oil. Canola or corn oil is fine. Give that just a couple seconds to get nice and hot. You want to make sure your pan is hot when you put them in. You can always turn it down, but you want it to hit the pan and really sizzle so that the grease doesn't get soaked up into the cake. You can always turn it down, like as I said. So it looks like we're pretty hot here. When you lay them in the pan, when you have a lot of oil, you want to make sure that you're putting them down so that they go away from you when you drop them. You don't want to drop them facing you and splash yourself with oil. Sounds really nice. And you want to give yourself some room in the pan because you are going to have to flip them. So don't overload your pan. You can do them in batches, that's fine. So you're going to want about 3 to 5 minutes. If you have it on a higher setting, it's okay now at this point to turn it down to medium, but you don't want to go any lower than that. Gently flip them over. And after you flip them, you're going to want another 3 to 5 minutes. You want to keep the dish that you're going to move them onto right next to your pan. Now that the salmon cakes are done, we're going to make the sauce. This could be made ahead of time as well. you're waiting for your guests to arrive and you're kind of antsy because you're kind of ready but no one's here, this is a good time to make your aioli. So we're going to start with 3/4 cups of mayonnaise. Aioli is a garlic flavored mayonnaise. Nowadays it can mean just about anything, whatever you add to it. Southwest aioli, this one's going to be a dill aioli. So after the mayonnaise, we're going to add 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. You're going to take your Uncle Dan's country dill that you used in the cakes, and we're going to put that in the sauce as well. Complement each other really nice. 1 tablespoon of the Uncle Dan's. And what's good about the Uncle Dan's is you have a little extra, you just fold it up, you put it in your pantry, and you have it for next time. And 1 teaspoon of dried or fresh dill, a wire whisk. And the other good thing about the Dan's country dill seasoning is it has onion and garlic already mixed in, so you don't have to chop garlic. With something like this for a sauce, I think I do like that it's all there because like I said, I don't have to chop garlic. For this small amount, you have a bunch of garlic that's kind of messy, then you're chopping 1/4 of an onion, and then you have that onion sitting in your fridge. So for something like this, it's definitely, it's completely acceptable to use this. I think it's great. The flavor's good, so I mean, in the end, that's what matters, is a good flavor. So, and you just mix it for 30 seconds, just till it's all incorporated, and that is the dill aioli to go with our gluten-free salmon cakes. Generally, with this size cake, you probably want to serve no more than 2 if you're using it for an appetizer before a meal. The salmon cakes made with the mashed potato are a little more delicate than when you put breadcrumbs in. The gluten-free, the mashed potatoes are a little more delicate, so do you want to watch that. And we'll put a little bit of sauce on the side here. About 1 tablespoon of sauce for 2 cakes, although I have a feeling your guests will be asking for more pretty quickly.
Hi, Chris.
Hi there.
Hey, what do we got here?
Here we have a gluten-free salmon cake with Uncle Dan's dill aioli.
Ooh, looking good. Let me try this, and then I've got a question for you regarding how you came up with the idea of using our dill dressing. Oh, very good. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I was challenged to make some gluten-free appetizers today, and I was thinking, when people go to a restaurant, what do they miss? And they miss those things that are traditionally have bread in them, and gluten, and a salmon cake, crab cake, almost always is breaded with breadcrumbs and also has bread inside. And I love salmon. We're up here in the Pacific Northwest, so that was my inspiration. And instead of breadcrumbs inside, I used mashed potatoes, and we breaded it with a gluten-free breadcrumb. And
well, it's really great.
Enjoy it.
I'm so happy that you were inspired to use our product to add to it. It's just wonderful.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
The Uncle Dan's country dill seasoning is so great. It's got the garlic, it's got the onion inside, and it's such a light, bright flavor. I really like it.
Couldn't agree more. Thank you very much.
You got it.
I think the potatoes lightened it up. You know, especially if you're having salmon at dinner time is one thing, but when you're having it earlier, like for lunch, making it a little lighter, a little, I don't want to say frothier, but yeah, it's better, I think.
I would like to say that this is the best salmon that I've ever eaten, and it's the second time I've ever had salmon in my life.
I thought the salmon cake was delicious. It was nice and light. It was interesting to find out it was made with potatoes. You know, I don't think I ever would have tried to make a salmon cake if I hadn't had this, because I think of them as being too fried and stuff like that. But this is nice and moist, and this aioli is fabulous. And I didn't even use the lemon.
I'm on my second helping. That's how good they were. They're absolutely delicious. And the sauce is incredible. It's a dill sauce. Uncle Dan's, is it Uncle Dan's dill sauce? What is it? Uncle Dan's dill sauce. But they're very, very good. And gluten-free to boot. Yeah.
I'm not even gonna try and attempt to beat that.
He doesn't even like fish.
Are you kidding?
He doesn't even like fish. And he ate it.
Yeah, I'm not a big fish
He is
eater,
not
but
a
I gotta
fish
tell
eater,
you
and he ate
that was very, very good. And I'm sure what made it good was Uncle Dan's dill sauce. And you know, what can I say? I don't eat fish, but I can now, right?